Welcome to all to the class which I published or titled as Demo Class for the course Basic Structural Knowledge. But I used the word demo just for one simple reason, that is, people should know what is the purpose of this class. But when I take a class, I never call it as a demo class. It will be a real class. So what all principles or concept I tell today, a particular part of our course will be systematic. Now, I will not give too much introduction because I already uploaded one class long back in around 2-3 months earlier. It was a demo class for RCC structural design. I don't remember exact name. Actually, that was my first online uploading. Then you can see, those who are seeing here in YouTube now, in the list you can see in the beginning only that one. Then I started the course SFD BMD. That is a systematic way, complete coverage of SFD BMD. It is still going on. For that matter, already 16 classes are over. Still I have not started SF and BM because all these days I was explaining the basic requirements to start or to understand SF and BM. So maybe so many of you are going through those classes. Now this class is to explain my course, for the upcoming course, Basic Structural Knowledge. 1 minute. Introduction is not required because I give an introduction there. You can go through it, but still, formality's sake, my name is K Shankaranarayana. I'm in the teaching field for academic or professional courses and also consultancy field since last 38 or nearly 39 years. Further, you can go through that demo class for RCC and go through it fully. Course will be Basic Structural Knowledge. This is my channel name, Basic Structural Knowledge. I will tell you what is Basic Structural Knowledge. In structural knowledge, there are two parts. One is basic concept, or what you can call is, that is somewhat pure mathematical, or it is behavior and so many principles will be there. Second one is applied, that is design field, like RCC, steel, prestressed concrete, bridges, etc. But I would prefer to divide into 3 parts. See, first one, I will write here. First one is basic structural knowledge. What I am covering now, basic structural knowledge. I will tell what I am going to cover here first. I will not take very long time. See, here I will be covering the 3 most critical parts of the basic or analytical part, that is engineering mechanics, then see, you can see little bigger, strength of materials. This is the most vital, strength of materials, and I will call structural analysis. Sometimes people call this as theory of structure also, or structural mechanics. These I will put 1, this is 1, 2 and subdivision 3. These 3 are the foundation for structural design. If you want to become a good structural designer, or during structural design, if any problem comes, if you have to make a judgment based on ground realities, then your knowledge of RCC or steel or prestressed concrete will not help you. What will help you is engineering mechanics, strength of materials, and partially structural analysis. Here see, in my course, the major coverage will be for strength of materials. And even all these three parts, what I will cover is not like academic class or not for competitive examination where people want tricks and solve and because questions are usually objective type. No, not that way. The purpose of this course is to get maximum possible knowledge, basic concept, understand the behavior. When difficulty comes in the structural field, then to make decisions or some judgments based on ground realities, I already told you, for that one, a powerful knowledge is required that I am going to give here. So, this course is meant for those who want to come up in structural engineering field or structural design field. This is not an academic class. So, if anybody is studying already, then I will tell them this is not the course for you unless he or she already decided, no, this structural engineering is a fascinating field. I want to come up there and also learn a lot. Later, I want to become a good structural engineer. Yes, for them, correct. Because why? That's what I am teaching here. And second one, competitive examinations. For them also, present day trend is what? They just want to solve. They want a trick. I have seen so many places, some tricks given without any meaning. Some crude tricks will be given. So that way you can solve only that particular question. You can't answer all the question. So even if you want to write a competitive examination, if basic knowledge is there, it helps a lot to get that shortcut or tricks. It helps a lot. So therefore, if anybody whose purpose is what? To write examination, competitive examination, but with a good knowledge, yes, they can join. But main purpose of this course will be for those who are going for structural design field. So therefore, that is professional structural design field. They will be interested or they are going to design the structure. So for them, this course is the most important. Now, during this course, I will not waste time solving unnecessary questions or what you call some questions are there. Example I will give later. No, what are all required for understanding and to get a feeling? I always use the word feeling. Simple example I will tell. If I see a beam, say I can see a beam there. What I will ask the students in the classroom, what you can see? Sir, we can see a beam. What else you can see? Above the beam I can see one more beam running and some roof covering is there. In the beam what you are seeing? Sir, painting. See, it is a steel painting. No. For me, if I see a beam, I can feel the bending moment there. I can feel the shearing force, twisting moment if it is there, and behavior when it bends. The internal resisting forces set up there, deformation, all will come to the mind. Like imagination, it is not to the eyes, inner eyes. So inner eyes all should be visible. That is possible if you got very good grip on the basic concept. So the main purpose of this course, what I told, basic structural knowledge, is to give a very thorough and what you can call very thorough and also firm grip on structural knowledge. So this is my course. This course will be this one. I told my course, once I start, I will tell it is our course. Already I am running a course for steel structures, which is about to be completed, and RCC also almost halfway through. Now, second one is design parts. First is what? Basic structural knowledge. Second one is design oriented. Like RCC or steel, pre-stressed concrete, bridges, and so many things are there this way. These are applied. Here, when you go for the design, what all you learn here, you are going to apply. See, sometimes people will tell, no, design now we can do by software. No, I won't agree. If design can be done by software, then everybody can go for structural design. See, everybody can put a board outside his shop, structural design done. How done? By software. Is it possible? Or sometime I give an example. See, medical field. For any disease, a doctor has to give medicine. He will observe you and talk with you. You will have consultation with him, and then he will make judgment and give medicine. Usually there is a person called compounder will be there. He cannot give medicine. Or medical store people, they cannot give medicine. Sometimes they give, but you cannot depend on it. It will be very crude. Therefore, a doctor should have a firm knowledge. So that way, only a doctor can give medicine. You cannot give medicine by online video or something like that. You cannot have a online class, or what you can call is some recorded version of the different diseases and refer it to that one, make a judgment and give medicine. You cannot give. Now, there are so many people who does not want too many knowledge. I know it. They are satisfied. Little knowledge. Yes, I can design, manage to design, but it will not be called competent design. And one more thing, a doctor gives medicine, correct. Thorough knowledge required. But the person who takes medicine should also have some basic requirement. Like, suppose he gives a medicine, he will tell how to take the medicine before food or after food, how much with water or you take something like that. Dose all, he will tell. You have to follow that one. That is using common sense. Suppose by chance you forgot medicine for 2-3 days. 4th day, you cannot take the quota of all the 4 days. So you have to once again consult the doctor only. So 3 days I have not taken medicine due to some reason, maybe non-availability or going out of station, medicine is not available. You cannot tell all the 4-day quota I will take right now only. Like financial matter is correct. If you don't pay for 3 months, 4th month you can pay including the previous 3 months. But like food, if you don't take food for 2 days, 3rd day you cannot eat for that much food which you are supposed to eat or which you will eat for 1, 2 and 3 days. Not possible. Maybe little more, sometime not little more, then it becomes less also. Therefore, the basic knowledge, this will give a firm grip on structural knowledge required for design field. Now, I will talk about the topic little later. What all I am going to cover also I will explain. And too much I will not explain because a brochure will be ready. See, I written here now. Course will start on August 12th. And class timing will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. It will be live online class. At present in Zoom, I may change it if I get a better option. I will inform those who register. I will inform them. 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. So comfortable time so that even those who are going for work, they can come, settle and start. And in case by chance live class is missed, I will always insist, always come live. Why? Because interaction will be there. When you come to live class, you can have very good interaction. Then so many doubts, you will get it cleared. But first of all, in my class, I can tell with proud that doubt will never come. But technical reasoning doubt will come. Sometimes I only will create it. For that one, I will ask the question in the class. People will give the answer. Usually wrong. So I will correct it. Those who already came to my class, you know about that one. So, but in case live class is missed, after the class, see, 9 p.m. class gets over, maybe after half an hour all, I will get the recorded version. I will send the recorded version so that you can go through the recorded version. And recorded version will be there maybe for around 1 week or 10 days time. I will keep it. Later, I will delete it. I do not require that once again. I never give record version as a class. Sometimes people ask, can you give only record version? I will tell no. You come to the class, recordings are meant for those who come to class, not for like a commodity for sale. It is not that way. I never use it like a old newspaper. After you use it, then give it for whatever you get. No, I never do that way. And total duration I require is 150 hours. In the 150 hours, around 100 hours I require for strength of materials only. Remaining 50 hours I will split for these two. So, engineering mechanics, I will cover what is required, not unnecessary problems. What is required, and structural analysis also, what is required for understanding. See, we cannot solve big frames by moment distribution, stope deflection in the class. Softwares are there, but how it is solved, what is determinate structure, what is indeterminate structure, those concepts are required. Or in a simply support beam, there will be sagging, you know it, usually for normal loading, sagging. If a continuous beam, if in case of continuous beams, middle portion usually sagging, and end portion near support, it will hog. So accordingly, you have to put reinforcement. Tension bars, where you will provide near support, it will be top, near midspan bottom. This is majority are knowing, but there also lot of concepts are there. Next. So I will what I can call is, I will cover what is the required part in the structure analysis and base in engineering mechanics in remaining 50 hours. So 100 hours will be dedicated to strength of materials because this is the foundation for structural engineering. Next, I will tell you third part. 1, 2, 3 I told. The third one will be advanced subjects. Like, I will not write here, matrix method of structure analysis, finite element method, theory of elasticity, structural dynamics, stability of structures. They are all coming under advanced subjects. They also come from here only, not design part, but these are advanced one. That usually people study in master's degree. That you can always study. Once you get the solid grip on this basic subject, you can easily understand design oriented subject and advanced subject, because this is going to be the foundation for the entire structural engineering knowledge. Next, now I will go for what I called as demo, not demo. One small concept I will tell, that is what way I explain the principles I will tell in the class now. I will take up one particular part. Preferably, I will take from strength of materials. I will take the most critical one, that is bending or flexure. And there are two important terms are there. Those who design RCC or steel, you will be knowing. One is called strength factor, other is called serviceability. So here, one will be strength based, other is serviceability. These two, how, see, you are considering strength means moment of resistance, all you consider in RCC, but what is the real basic for strength? It comes here. And serviceability, usually deformation or deflection. Correct, no doubt, but how you get the deflection, that all comes in strength of materials only. And then one more thing I will explain here. In RCC, in my RCC course, I already told it. You IS code or maybe some other country code also will be there. They will tell deflection control can be assumed to be satisfied if L by D ratio is limited to a particular value, or by controlling the L by D ratio, you can assume deflection control without calculating actual deflection. But it's a conditional, not all the cases. For normal cases, they told by only based on L by D. This also I will explain briefly how it came. Why L by D? Why? Span is there, depth is there, then loading also will be there, width also will be there. Why that is not considered? I will tell the reason on what grounds. After I explain the serviceability part, I will explain briefly how that L by D is arrived by a small example. Or what I will go for now is a simple example for bending strength and bending strength, that is flexure strength. Then one strength, other serviceability, and a part of that L by D ratio. And one more thing is there. Here, some expressions will be there. That I have to give. I can't prove it here or explain too much. But in the course, if I write A into B, I will tell why it is A into B. If I write A into B square, I will explain and prove why it is A into B square. Without proof, I will not write anything. See, in RCC or steel, there are plenty empirical formula for which proof will not be there. We have to accept the code or what they suggested, we have to accept it. But there will be logic. In my class for RCC and steel, even though proof cannot be given, but I always tell them the logic so that they understand very clearly. They so many told, we are not knowing, now only we came to know that logic will be there. Like modification factor, how it is arrived all, it cannot be proved. Lengthy equations will be there, empirical formula cannot be proved, but logic will be there. Same way here. If I write anything, I will prove here. This course is meant for thorough understanding. So without proof, if I write an expression, it becomes meaningless. So therefore, everything I am going to write here will be proved. That is what people call derivation. That will be done in the class. So today's example, what I will do is, I will not go to prove. This is not that basic derivation class. One example so that you can make out what way classes are going to be conducted, and also how you earn, not earn, learn from me, earn later after you learn. Okay, sorry. How you learn from me or earn knowledge, correct? Earn knowledge. See, usually earning means financial matter comes. No. In my entire teaching, I never bothered financial matter more than the education. Education is the topmost priority for me. Those who already know me, those who are coming to my class, they very well know what way I am dedicated to this teaching line. So by chance, slip up term, I used the word earn. See, I changed immediately. Earn knowledge, not money. So that way, I told anything will be proved, so that after the course is completed, I can guarantee that you will reach very great height in structural basic requirement. Then using that one, you can come up in the structural field like anything. Okay. Now, regarding the course, in the end I will tell something. When I am concluding, I will tell about this one, what way the admissions are there, those things I will tell in the end only. Now I will come to subject point of view. I told you bending, flexure, strength and serviceability, and also L by D ratio briefly. Okay, we will start now. As I told earlier, I will not go through full detail because this is just to give information as how the class will be conducted. So I will consider a beam of rectangular section. Rectangular section. Simple example, sufficient. In the real course, I will tell why in case of steel, I section is very powerful compared to rectangular section, and there so many concepts will be there. That all you cannot cover here. Now to basic understanding. See, rectangular section. I will take section as any material. It need not be steel or RCC like that. It can be of any material. See, I will give values just like that only. Say cross section 100 mm by 300 mm. Cross section. Now, just imagine it has got modulus of elasticity E 2 × 10⁵ Newton per mm square. Now, so many will be knowing, oh, this is a steel only. Okay, yes. So, sometimes people will ask, sir, in steel, usually rectangle section is not given. Suppose you give, what will happen? Usually for bending all, you go for I sections, correct? But RCC, you go for rectangular. Wooden beams, you go for rectangular. So, I am not told steel here, I told E value. Okay, then, for every material, there will be a permissible limit for stress. So I will write here permissible bending stress. Actually, permissible stress will come if it is a working stress theory by applying factor of safety to ultimate or yield stress. That all discussion will be in the class. So I will tell permissible stress in bending, say sigma permissible per equal to, I will tell 150 Newton per mm square. I don't use MPa all now because why? That will be codal requirement later. Okay, now what we will do is this beam we will place in, now this beam we will place in two different ways. One of them is, see, we will place the beam like this. We will make it simply support beam. Okay, done. Second one, I will place the beam like this. Here, this will be 100 millimeter. This will be 300 millimeter. You can make out later why it is that way. That means if I put a 3D sketch here, this beam will be, see, like this. This beam will be, space problem is there. I will manage the available space here. This way. See here, this is 300 millimeter. This is 100 millimeter. Here, this is 100 millimeter. This is 300 millimeter. So I'll show you now how is the arrangement. See, just imagine the beam here. See, span all you don't want now. This is span. One dimension is 100 millimeter. Other is 300 millimeter. You can see here. See, I think you can observe. Now, one case I place the beam like this way. So in the front view, you are seeing a depth of 100. The width is 300. Second, same beam I am placing like this, where depth is 300, width is 100. Now I will compare the bending strength of the two beams. I think almost everybody knows answer. Even somebody on the road will tell this is better. They will tell weak. See, I'll show a small demo for you. Little thin here. See, first time I am placing like this. You can see here. If I apply bending moment, see how easily I can bend. But second time I place like this. See, now I can't bend. Whatever effort I put now, see, I am not able to bend. Why? Very strong it became. Now see, it is very weak. I will tell the reason for that one. See, for any beam cross section, the maximum BM, see, one thing I forgot, the very term bending moment, so powerful and requires so lot of concept. In the demo class, not first class I put on YouTube, there is demo class, if you go through, I told about it. That is called section force and then equilibrium, section force. One of them is direction based, other is nature based. You go through it once again. If you want to know more about me, you go through it. Now, here I will limit to only bending moment. Remember, bending moment is, this is called moment. No, see, this is called bending moment. This is called sagging. This is called hanging. I will tell one more thing now. If the bending is this way, bottom will be in tension, top will be in compression. Somewhere in the neutral layer here or neutral axis, stress will be 0. If the bending is this way, top will be in tension, bottom will be in compression. Okay. Now, further. For every member based on the cross section, these are all property of cross section. there is a maximum limit for bending moment. So the term maximum bending moment that can be resisted by the cross section, not beam. So many places they will tell what is the moment of resistance of the beam. No, it is for cross section. Of the cross section is called moment of resistance. Moment of resistance. See, sometime in the class I will give a money matter example also. That all I will give in the class later. Maximum BM that can be resisted by cross section is called moment of resistance. That is how much bending moment section can safely resist. Of course, factor of safety will be there. That all you have to consider later. That is called, or short form, MR. Now common sense. If MR is more, it is a case of strength. Why? It can resist more BM. MR is lesser. It is a weaker case. See here. If I place the beam this way, MR will be lesser. Why? See, you can see easy to bend. If I place the beam this way, moment of resistance will be very high. Now I'll come to that one. See. You can tell MR formula, MR equal to sigma permissible into section modulus. Yes, this you have to accept in my class. I cannot prove it. Moment of resistance equal to permissible bending stress into section modulus. These all will be discussed. See, this particular chapter, bending stress, will be very, very vital. I will be taking at least minimum 15 to 20 hours for that one, bending stress chapter. So, MR equal to sigma permissible into Z. I already told you, sigma permissible is 150. Yes. Further, you cannot discuss. Because why? I want to just give an idea of the behavior. Z is called section modulus. I write here. Z is called section modulus, which is equal to B into D square by 6 for rectangular section. This you have to accept in the class now, section. Now, actually when I go for bending, there is a powerful term called axis of bending. That all discussion I cannot make here. So now see, where B is the breadth and D is the depth. Now, see here, first case, if I consider the cross section of beam, it will look like this. This is breadth. See, if I cut the beam here, you can see here, see. If I take the cross section of the beam, I can see width of 300 and depth of 100 millimeter, all in millimeter. Now, with systematic way, I will explain later, this is called neutral axis. Okay, now, section modulus Z will be equal to, I told formula, BD square by 6, where B and D means not randomly breadth and depth. The side which is parallel to neutral axis, that is B. So, your B will be equal to 300 millimeter and your D will be equal to 100 millimeter. That will give section modulus Z equal to 300 into 100 square divided by 6. It will give the answer. 1 minute, I will calculate it in front of you only. Usually, I never come to class with a prepared problem. 100 square divided by 6. It will be 0.5 10 to the power 6 millimeter cube. Now, moment of resistance of the beam cross section for case number 1. I will take this as case number 1 equal to permissible bending stress of 150 into 0.5 10 to the power 6. This is in Newton per mm square, that is mm cube. It will come 0.5 into 150 will give you 75 10 to the power 6 Newton millimeter, or it will be 75 kilonewton meter. Sufficient. That means a beam of cross section 300 by 100, when 300 is parallel to the axis and perpendicular to axis 100, that is width is 300, depth is 100. As per the given data, its resisting capacity is 75 kilonewton meter. Okay, now come to second case, somewhere here. For beam number 2, section modulus Z equal to, see here, the cross section is like this. This is 100, this is 300. So this axis, so width will be 100, depth will be 300 now. 300 square divided by 6. See, last time it was 300 into 100 square. Now it is 100 into 300 square by 6. This will give you 1.5 10 to the power 6 millimeter cube. Therefore, moment of resistance for the beam number 2 will be, permissible stress is same for the material, 150 into 1.5 10 to the power 6 Newton millimeter, or if you write kilonewton meter, it will be 225 kilonewton meter. See now. Now you can make out the strength comparison. When you place the beam like this, its resisting capacity is 75 kilonewton meter. Same beam, when you place this way, its resisting capacity is 225 kilonewton meter. That means this beam can resist bending moment 3 times that of this beam. So that is the principle. That's why you see in all the constructions, in RCC all, they keep width lesser and depth more. But in RCC columns, when the buckling is considered, it can buckle this way or it can buckle this way, but it won't buckle this way, it will always buckle this way. That's why it is considered about the minor axis. See, for this beam cross section, the axis about which moment of inertia is maximum is called major axis, about which moment of inertia is lesser is called minor axis, or where bending strength is more, that is called major, where bending strength is lesser, it is called minor. These are all will come. See, a part of that will come in engineering mechanics, the most powerful term of moment of inertia. I will make it thoroughly clear at that time. Now, come to, this is one part. Come to next, deformation. Deformation or deflection. Deflection. I will take the same example now. I will show you why, how or why and also how this beam is stronger and more, will have high serviceability compared to this beam. Then I will tell you about that L by D ratio briefly. We'll start now. Actually, I observed, compared to that one, here little it is light. That is because of the ink. Actually, what happened is, I have not refilled the ink. That's why it happened. But usually in the class, everything will be as bright as this only. See, now, I will come to deflection. Serviceability, see what I discussed just now is called strength. That is resisting capacity for, against what? Against bending action. So that is called bending strength. Now, see, in RCC you call moment of resistance, in steel you call design bending strength, all those things. Now, come to serviceability. Deformation. Nobody wants a beam to bend too much. So when they look at a beam, if the deflection is too much, they get afraid, they get panic. So every code will restrict the deflection. So deflection should be always within a limit. Now see, first, if a simply support beam is there here, of span L, if you apply a UDL of W per unit length, see, I never write Kn per meter, and then the beam will deflect like this. The maximum deflection I will call delta max. For this case, will be at center given by 5 by 384 WL power 4 by EI. Now, the term EI, it is called flexural rigidity of, if you ask people, maximum will tell flexural rigidity of the beam. No, flexural rigidity of cross section of beam. Cross section of beam. That is called term EI. Okay, now see, I will take the case now for both the beams. See, I will put a span, same span I will put. For both these beams, I will take a span of around, say, 5 meter. This is also 5 meter. 5 meter. I will apply same loading in both the cases because you want to compare. Say, see, now you may get some deflection which looks very odd. No problem. Understanding purpose. I want to compare the deflection for these two. So whether it is allowed or not, that comes in the codal provision. See, I will put UDL of 30 kilonewton per meter. Here also I will put 30 kilonewton per meter. Now I want to substitute in the equation. See, both the beams. See, now common. I will put a common part here. Common for both. I won't tell 5 and 384 common. It will be a laughing one. See, W, before that one, unit problem will come. Not for all. In my class, I will see that unit problem also is removed. I give mathematically, for mathematics, I give maximum respect. So I will tell my students, unit be careful. Don't blindly substitute. So what I will do now is, I will use the unit of kilonewton and meter. Okay, done. This is the unit I am going to use. But later in the class, I may use Newton and millimeter. That is depending on that day. Some unit you require, I will go for kilonewton and meter unit. So for both the cases, this beam, like some flow here, okay, ink spread. For this beam and this beam, for both of them, span equal to 5 meter. Okay, done. And load W equal to 30 kilonewton per meter. Means when you compare the two beams, you should apply the same load and same span. Then only you can compare. If you are having a running race, both should run same distance. You cannot ask one person, you run for 500 meter, other person run for 100 meter. It is not correct. Both should run by same distance. Then only you can decide who is stronger, who is weaker. See, now W and L over. Now you require EI. So what you do is, I will calculate EI now. EI is called flexural rigidity of the cross section. I will tell briefly why it is called flexural rigidity. As E, it is a product of Young's modulus of elasticity of the material and moment of inertia of the cross section about neutral axis. Then, as EI increases, deflection will become lesser. Good. As EI decreases, deflection will become more. No, not good, bad. That means this EI will be an important factor to decide the deflection. So, since the deflection is inversely proportional to EI, higher EI will reduce the deflection, lesser EI will give higher deflection. It is called flexural rigidity of the cross section. How rigid it is means if EI is higher, good. It is rigid means what? No deformation. Flexible means more deformation. That's why EI is called flexure means bending, rigidity of cross section. See now, I will come here now for this case beam number 1. Now do one thing now. Your E is 2 10 to the power 5 Newton per mm square. Even for second also E is same material. See, you can't compare the two. One of them you make steel, other you make timber. It is not fair. Comparing means only cross section varies. 2 10 to the power 5 Newton per mm square. Now, moment of inertia I won't waste time here. I equal to BD cube by 12. Now, I already told you just now. For this beam, See, the cross section is like this. For this beam, sorry, not that way. For this beam, cross section is like this. This is 300, this is 100, this is the axis. So it is 3, I'll put general formula, rectangle section, I'll put here, rectangle section I equal to BD cube by 12. Therefore, for this beam, I equal to width is 300 into depth is 100 cube divided by 12. This will be millimeter power 4. Therefore, you calculate what is the EI value. See, I am going to calculate now. By chance later, if any calculation mistake is there, you don't make an issue of it, correct it. Because sometimes it happens, human error. I always tell in my class, I don't want to repeatedly. I can make calculation mistake, sometimes spelling mistake. Because English is not my mother tongue. Some rare case grammar mistake, but I assure my students and everybody learners that I will never make technical mistake. So here it is 300 into 100 cube divided by 12. I is 25 into 10 to the power 6 millimeter power 4. Therefore, your EI will become, no, this is actually I, sorry, this is only I. Now, therefore, your EI equal to 2 10 to the power 5 into 25 10 to the power 6 will be equal to 2 10 to the power 5 into 25 10 to the power 6 equal to 5 into 10 to the power 12. See, E is in Newton per mm square. I is in mm power 4. It will come Newton millimeter square. I always tell in the class, EI is always force into distance square. But I want to convert this Newton millimeter square to kilonewton meter, or I will change it now, equal to 5 into 10 to the power 12 into Newton to kilonewton 10 to the power minus 3. Newton will become what? Will become kilonewton. Then millimeter to meter 10 to the power minus 3, but the millimeter square is there, 10 to the power minus 3 square, kilonewton meter square, or this will become 5000 kilonewton meter square. Too much I can't explain, that is EI. Now, same way you find EI for this one. I will not write this much now, I'll give briefly here. This one cross section is like this. Therefore, your I will be equal to 300 into 100 cube divided by 12. Now, in the same way here, you get EI. This is for beam number 1, this for beam number 2. EI will come 45,000 kilonewton meter square. 45,000 kilonewton meter square. Now I will substitute and find deflection for both. See, now some space required. Okay, I will remove this one now. This I will remove. This also I will remove. But remember, by looking sketch only you can make out. This is a case of depth lesser, width more. This is a case of depth more, width lesser. If I calculate delta max here, maximum deflection, it is 5 by 384 into W is 30 into 5 to the power 4 divided by EI is 5000. It will come 'correct? See, I am getting doubts. I will calculate once again. 5 by 384 into 30 into 5 square divided by 5000. 0.4882125 meter. Because why? Everything is in kilometer and meter. Deflection is a linear quantity. It will come in meter. Or you can tell the maximum deflection here is, I will convert meter to millimeter. Multiply by 1000. Such a big number is not required to understand. 48.828125 millimeter. That is nearly almost 50 millimeter is the deflection. Nearly 50. Little less, 1 mm lesser. Okay, now, substitute here. Same way, delta maximum here for second beam. This is delta maximum for beam number 1. This beam. 5 by 384 into W is 30 into 5 to the power 4 divided by EI is 45,000. Now this will come 0.001 minute. Getting doubt. No, correct. In case calculation mistake is there, correct it, that's all. 0.005425 I will stop this much meter, or your delta max will be convert to millimeter into 1000 will give you 5.42535 millimeter. See, now this is for beam number 2. Now compare first. Brief comparison. When the beam is placed this way, width of 300, depth of 100, beam will deflect by 48.8 millimeter. You can see it actually by naked eye. See, it will deflect like this. But whereas same beam, when you place this way and apply load, it will deflect, see, lesser. How much? Only by 5.42535 millimeter. Now, if you calculate, suppose understanding purpose, delta 1 max by delta 2, the value will come, I know it will come 9. Why you never bother now? 100, 300, 100 is 3 square. Yes, correct. It will come 9. I am sure. I will not calculate. 9. That is, or you can tell your delta 1 is 9 times delta 2. Therefore, suppose you got a beam of rectangular section with the width to depth ratio 1:3. If you apply UDL, then if you place this way, how much it will deflect? Then if you place this way, the deflection will be only 1/9 of that one. Or if you place this way, how much deflection you get? Some deflection will come. If you turn it and place this way, it will deflect to 9 times. It will deflect to 9 times of that value. That is 8 times more. Or this is, here deflection is only 1/9 of this one. Or this deflection is 9 times of that one. This you can easily feel. See here. But now see, very strong. Okay. Now further, I have given sufficient explanation, one for strength and one for what I call is deflection. Now I will tell one more thing. I am not good in speeches. I always fumble sometimes when I want to tell something outside structure. See, suppose I want to explain about the core solve, I have to think. But when you can see, when I talk about subject, I don't have to think. It will naturally come. So people who already come to my class, who are coming to my class, they know all these things. So you never worry about what the way of expressing it. What finally counts, how much you understand from me. and also important what level I am having. But that does not matter. Finally, what matters is from me how much you learn. Now, I will lastly conclude now by the most powerful term, that L by D ratio in Indian code. In India, IS code permits deflection control based on L by D ratio. So I will explain briefly on what basis they decided. Maybe American country or for other countries, there also it will be there. I will tell the reason why L by D ratio is a code decided that what you can consider depression control to be satisfied based on L by D. What is the justification? Recently in RCC class, you ask them, you can't ask them, you are not knowing. I talked about this L by D ratio depression control for 3 hours. They will be knowing it. Nearly 3 hours I talked about this depression control. All the finer points, what is the stress coming, how the load is effect of load is there, how the span will be considered, how width is considered, that all discussed. But here briefly I will tell why Indian Standard Code decided that L by D ratio is okay for depression control, and many countries are following it. Last round, now the last part of this class. See, I told you this regarding that L by D ratio. Actually it comes in RCC, but I will tell what is the reason for explaining it. I will tell right now only. People tell, so many people, those who are design field, they will tell L by D control. If you ask them why, they will tell code. No feeling. See, major or rather real problem for all structural designers or those who are going to that field is lack of knowledge in the basic concepts, which results in what? Designing without knowing the behavior. Knowing behavior is very important. One simple example I will tell you. If I write the cross section here, see, of a RC section, this is neutral axis. As per Indian Standard Code, the compressive stress diagram is like this. That center of gravity will be there somewhere here. That's all not required. Oh, sorry, that's some. 1 minute. Some ink flow. I put extra ink actually, no problem. Okay. This all happens, nothing to worry. See, now, the stress diagram is like this. The compression you will be marking later. See, people mark this way compression force. Some RCC steel bar will be there. I will mark tension force here. Then I will put resultant compression here, resultant tension. This is a lever arm. That all will come in RCC. If it is some other country also, principle is same. Stress block will change. Basic principle from strength of materials will remain same, not only in our world, in anywhere, even if you go to some other planet also, principle is same. Now, see, I will ask the question. The bending stress, is it compression or tension? Is it like this or like this? See, I will ask them. Is the bending compression is like this or like this or something like this? I will ask this way. People who have done master's degree and those who have done PhD also, when I ask the question, so many were there in my class earlier. They will tell, some will tell, sir, like this. Some will tell, like this. Some will tell, sir, no sir, resultant like this. Everything is wrong. The bending compressive stress or bending tensile stress will always be perpendicular to the cross section. It is along the length. See, basic knowledge only is not there, and talking about big designs. They use the equation, see, like 0.36 FCK into B into X, your resultant compression equal to 0.87 FY into AST, not by hearted actually, because I can see all those things. They by heart it, lever arm A, they will tell D minus 0.42 XQ. Why? Sir, IS code. See. No, you should know how the bending stresses will come here, and because of the stresses, how internal resisting moment will come, which will balance the external bending moment. One more problem. So many people, they tell bending moment is internal. I will prove them fully wrong in that SFD BMD class. And so many finer points there. One fine day, I will title it as special class for special concept. So many things which I have not shared earlier, I am going to make it public. Let everybody know it. Okay, leave it now. This is only information I told. That is why basic knowledge is very, very important. There's a little problem for rubbing. Okay. Now, for thorough understanding, see, you consider a beam. Usually this we consider for RCC or any beam. See, if a simply supported beam is there, I'll write here now. If you apply point load W, say center, beam will deflect like this. This deflection delta will be equal to WL cube by 48 EI. Whereas, if you go for simply support beam, span is L, I forgot right here, span is L, okay, span L. If you take a span L, apply a UDL of W per unit length, the beam will deflect this way. This delta maximum, this is a maximum deflection, maximum equal to W into L power, here L power 3, here L power 4 by EI. Now, you can observe one thing, further you go for it. See, now E is a material constant, I, moment of inertia. In RCC, there is a term called gross moment of inertia of the cracked section, and moment of inertia that is called, one is for cracked section, one is for gross moment of inertia, then effective moment of inertia. But whatever is there, finally in the expression, width into depth cube will come. It will come. So finally, width and depth cube, maybe not full depth, partial depth, that is neutral axis depth will come. So I will do one thing to understanding purpose, that all you study in RCC. See, now I will take rectangular section to understand your concept. Further you understand in RCC, rectangular section, B into D cube by 12. Okay, now B into B cube by 12. But in RCC, we don't use the term D, we use effective depth D, not use the term D. For all expressions, effective depth D will come. So I will do one thing now. I will write B into D cube by 12. It is not correct actually, remember. It is not BD cube by 12, but the format is correct. What is important is the format. I want to bring the effective depth D. If someone comments, it is not D cube, I will tell him, come to discussion with me. Let's see. I will tell moment of inertia of a cracked section is B into x cube by 3 plus MAST into D minus x whole square. I will tell all those things. So that is by parallax theorem. So now, see now, if I substitute here, the deflection delta will become W into L cube divided by 48 divided by E into B into D cube, or 1 minute, I will put capital D only. Why confusion? I will replace capital, I will put capital D only. Later I will change over to small d. Okay. That is, don't worry about RCC. B into D cube by 12. And here, deflection delta equal to delta maximum. 5 by, I forgot to write 5 by 384 here. Okay, see, naturally it came to me. 5 by 384 WL power 4 by E into B into D cube by 12. Now, what I will do is, I will take a standard case. I will take a multiple of 2. I will consider a deflection of, for example, 32 millimeter. 32 millimeter deflection maximum for both the cases. 32 millimeter. For here or here, imagine for a particular load, particular span and material and cross section, Deflection maximum is 32 millimeter here and there. Now see what happens. Suppose, see you can see here, L cube is there, here D cube comes, here L power 4 and D cube. I will do one thing now. You never bother this or this case, time being, 32. Okay, come this case, see here. Suppose your B is doubled. What width is there? You make the width double. Delta max will become half. Delta max will become half. Y means, see here, when B become double, this all you can try later, yourself only. My purpose is to explain why L by D is the predominant. So, this all you check later. I have no time for those things now. But not in the real class, in the demo class. Sorry, not demo class, in this class. Okay. Delta will become half, 16 millimeter. Or if B is made half means whatever width is there, you reduce it to 50%. Delta max will become 64 millimeter, double. Double the breadth, deflection becomes half. Reduce the breadth by 50%, deflection becomes double. Same for both the cases, here and here both. Then span, double, see, span lastly I will tell B over, no? B over. Now lastly, W, loading. Here point load. See, I write here. Double the point load. Double the load. Here and there both. Deflection also will become double. 32 will become 64. Whereas reduce the load. Reduce by 50%. That is, take half the load. Deflection max will become 32 will become 16 millimeter. That means breadth doubled, deflection becomes half. Breadth reduced by 50%, deflection becomes double. Load doubled, deflection becomes double. Load reduced by 50%, deflection also reduced by 50%. Or you can see here W and in the IB, both are linear variation. See, linear variation. Now consider what happens if span is doubled. Span doubled. See, when you double the span, L cube is there here. So, when you double the span, your 64 mm deflection, sorry, how much it is? 32 mm deflection will become, I have to require a calculator now. The 32 mm deflection will become 256 mm. 256 mm, quarter meter. Can you imagine? Quarter meter, this much. 32 mm will become 256 mm for point load. And for UDL, it will further become more. It will become 512 millimeter. This is abnormal increase. Span is just doubled. See, suppose 6 meter span becomes 12 meter span. Deflection from 32 will jump to 256. And if it is a UDL case, 32 will jump to 512. Same way. Now, span reduce by 50%. Reduce by 50%. That is, make it half. Then, for point load, deflection will become original 32. That 32 mm will become 4 mm. See, reduced by 50%, it will come down to 1/8. Just half the span and deflection severely drops. And here, and whereas UDL case, it will become, but if you make half, it will become 2 mm. That means deflection will drastically reduce. Same way, come to depth. For both the cases, double the depth. double the depth. Deflection will come down to 4 millimeter. That is 1/8. 32 mm deflection will reduce to 4 mm. Whereas reduce the depth by 50%. That is, take half the depth. Then deflection will become, that 32 mm will become 256 millimeter. Severe, you can imagine, severe increase. Therefore, you all this one, you try yourself. But in my real class, not that way. I will give an example. I will write the value here. In the live chat, I will ask everybody what is the deflection. They have to tell. I will try to trap them. They will fall to the trap. Then I will only remove them from the confusion and make clear. That is the way of my teaching. I always see that what people get trapped. They easily get trapped. Purpose not to degrade, to show them the mistake that they should not do second time. I will tell them always, do the mistake in the class, don't do it outside. Okay, now, therefore, see, if breadth and span are doubled or half, deflection will linearly change. That is, width and span, breadth and, not span, breadth and loading. What is span? If breadth and loading, by mistake I told, because by slip of tongue it's all. Usually it never happens. If breadth and loading, see, immediately I realize the mistake. If breadth and loading are changed, then linearly deflection will change. Breadth increased, deflection decreases. Breadth decreased, deflection increases. Load increased, deflection increases. Load decreased, deflection decreases. That is in the same proportion. But not for L and D. L and D increase the depth, deflection severely comes down. Decrease the depth, deflection rapidly goes up. Span, increase the span, proportionality is not maintained, deflection severely increases. Decrease the span, deflection severely decreases. Therefore, the two major terms are, see here, L and D. That's why the ratio, I'll put here now, the ratio L by D is the most predominant for deflection control. If this L by D ratio is controlled, then IS code told deflection control can be assumed to be satisfied. But IS code told not capital D, it is effective depth D. That will come in RCC, don't worry now. Okay, now sometime doubt will come. If it is only L by D, then what about the load and width effect is there? When you go for a deflection control, a term called modification factor is there. There you get a term called PT and FS. PT is the stress in steel at service load, and FS is the stress in steel in service load, and PT is the percentage of tension reinforcement. So there IS code accounted for the loading and also other things. So loading is accounted there because of the bending. So IS code decided L by D controlled, then deflection is almost controlled. Therefore, it is actually empirical method. So it is not exact, but for some abnormal loading or very high span, IS code only suggested you should go for actual deflection calculation and check it. So this is briefly I told. This is not the way I will explain in the class. There is a systematic way is there. This is in a small time just to give idea. I told why that L by D, because I was talking about deflection, I linked to RCC. I told recently I took 3 hours for this one. Okay, now I am concluding this class. As I told, course is called Basic Structural Knowledge. Starts on 12th August 2021. Timing fixed. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Weekly 4 classes. 7:30 to 9:30 Indian Standard Time. Total duration I require 150 hours. maximum plus or minus means plus only, not minus. 10 hours more if requirement is there. You will be benefited, not too much more. Recordings will be given after the class will be sent, and every class notes also will be given to you. These people know every class systematic way notes also will be given. And then regarding those who are interested in joining, I will always insist, go through this class completely. Don't go like entertainment video, just scroll here and then go jump. No, fully go through. Even if you are not joining the class, at least by this class, I hope you will learn a little now. See, at least from my side, little contribution for you. Now, if you want to registration, if you want details of the course, like what are the contents, then what all I am covering, etc., a brochure will be ready in another 1 or 2 days. So you send me message, just details. Other things are not required. I have seen sometimes people calling and unnecessarily chatting and talking. No, I won't encourage it. You send me message, details, and write your name and place from where you are. This is an online class, so that hardly matters where you are. That one. Or if you already know about me, and if you were already my student earlier, or you came to any of my class earlier, then first of all, then you don't require demo class. So already some 3-4 students earlier only they joined. They told, sir, for us no demo class required. Your name only is sufficient for us, they told. So finally, after going to this class and after going to the brochure of details, if you want to join, you have to send WhatsApp message to this number. They have to tell registration. If you tell details means I will send brochure. There you get full details, no registration. If you send message registration, that means you have decided to join the course. I will send you registration details immediately. Then you have to join, and every class link will be given for you. I number I written here, 80886033637 is the number. Send a message with name and place for that one. Live class timing told, and one more thing, no change of timing possible, because when I announce a timing, I cannot change. If it is an offline class, depending on the students who come here, I can change the timing. This is somebody who decided this ideal time. If he joins, later if I change, he will have objections. No, such things should not happen. In case you got difficulty for 7:30, little late will do, no problem. Record version will come, but maximum come to live. That's very important. Live is the most important. Okay, now I'll conclude, and we will meet those who join the course. We will meet in the actual rigorous, systematic, knowledge-oriented course. Okay, thanks, and if possible, share the information for others so that everybody will know about it. Share this one, so let others also know about this one. When you get the brochure, that also you can share, so that more and more people know about it. Okay, thank you.